Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy New Year's. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. You know, it is. December happened and games were played. So, start off with a couple ones that you were expecting. I already said in the last time I bought that adapter for PS3 to PS4, and I've just been going hard on the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, getting my MVC2 fix in. I don't know if I showed it, but if you get the actual thing, it comes with a comic book and explains the story. That comic book smell. Check it out. Very cool, right? So, been a lot of combos, working on some new stuff. Of course, playing as Cyclops, playing as Venom. Great times, absolute great times. Speaking of Venom, have you guys played Marvel Rivals? That game is great. Well, I had a great experience the first time I played it. First couple of times I played it. Went on a 20 KO streak as Venom. Great times, just great times. But fight stick, using my PS3 fight stick is a nice one. It's a nice 10-pound fight stick. It's unfortunate that my copy of the PS2 version, is kind of plummeted in value, but it's still a great game. Highly recommend picking it up. If you like fighting games, if you like your Capcom games, you probably already are playing this at that point. It is interesting to kind of experience the Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighter, those type of games. Because I've never played those, so to really just kind of experiment and see where the game was and how it got to where it is in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Also experiencing a Marvel fighting game with a 6-button, light, medium, fierce setup is pretty sweet. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 took up a lot of my first couple of weeks of December, and of course I would mix that in with Street Fighter 6, gifted to me by a coworker. Great game. Been playing a whole lot of Zangief and Marissa. Surprisingly enough, their story has them potentially becoming a couple. So it just worked out that it was just a sweet pick. Love me some Zangief. Spent actual touchy-feely paper money on some colors for Zangief. So, been having a lot of fun on that. Finally went from playing only the computer, only doing arcade and a little bit of survival type fighting. Team battle. I like doing team battle on Tekken back in the days. I was like, all right, let's take it online. I did some ranked matches. I got ranked, not very high, but I still got ranked. I won a majority of my placing matches. So it's been fun to just, not be as a new era of fighting games for me. If you know me, there's an old era, and now I'm trying to be a little bit different. But having a lot of fun with Street Fighter 6. Got to get back on that. I was having a lot of trouble hitting the 720, so double 360s to hit Zangief's ultimate, but with a little help from the guy who bought me the game, I was able to figure it out. So Street Fighter 6 kind of was a good blend between different Capcom games. My friend has the arcade 1-up cabinet for the X-Men 97, and of course Marvel vs. Capcom is on there, so it's nice to have a game to keep my skills sharp, to just go over there and hang out with the boys, play some MVC2, crack a cold one, So that's a fun time. Alright, so that's the fighting games. I'll hit you with the one from the past. It's been a little bit since I've talked about some PsyOps, the Mindgate conspiracy. Your mind is the ultimate weapon. Very infrequently are you able to be a Jedi with a gun, as I like to describe it, where you can pick someone up and then plap, plap, plap. So, conspiracies just good old classic video games. Third person. It's made by Midway, so it's a good 8 out of 10. Fun, but I have it on difficult mode, which is incredibly difficult, and it earns its name to the point where they spawn in. It's not so bad anymore. The level I just beat didn't have people spawning in behind me, but it did just make a random turret in front of the door that I needed to go through. So that part sucked. But the thing with old games that I do kind of miss when I play a lot of roguelike type games, mostly Binding of Isaac, is the enemies are always going to be where they're at. They're never going to move around, or they're not going to be spawning in different places. That's where they're at. They're always going to be there. If you die this run, prepare and know that they're going to be there. They're going to be on that catwalk. They're going to be in that middle ground between the two trains. The guy is always going to be, once you break this plane, he's going to notice you because he's by the stairs. So taking that into the game is helpful. Fun game, again, really super video gamey, real video gamey. And then getting back on my Okami grind, because Clover Studios got the band back together after closing its doors in 2006. Essentially after Okami here. Yep, shortly after. Capcom says it did to be more efficient, but either way, it closed the studios in 2006, and essentially dashing any hopes of a sequel for this game and another game I've talked about, Godfist, but I haven't played that in a while. Got to beat that one as well. But they just announced that they're getting back together and opening up the studio again. So Okami, great game, absolute banger of a time. Having another type of experience where it's video games, where you're third person running around. You got a double jump, sort of. You can jump off the wall. You have special powers. You're trying to save the world. People in trouble. Go be good. Great times. Introduces combat. I've figured out the level up system, new weapons. But I was noticing something while I was playing, is that it felt incomplete as I was playing, and it felt like the game was nearing its end. And I was wondering, like, what is happening? To the point where it takes you, spoiler alert here for a nearly 20-year-old game. It takes you basically up to the big bad evil guy that you've been building up to. And then once you're defeated that, it tells you, now the game really begins. When I got that message, I was kind of like, oh, right, I need to take another break. Again, you're just reading a lot of the game, so that does get tedious. It's not so much that, oh, I don't like reading. It's just, after a while, you're mashing X, especially if you died. You're mashing X, which, honestly, in Okami, I don't think I've died. I think I've died maybe once this entire playthrough. And that was due to my own stupidity, not really knowing, still at the beginning of the game, not really knowing how the system works or the health and stuff works. But it's not a tough game, but boy, is there a lot to do in that game. There's a lot to collect, there's a lot of puzzles, there's a lot of stuff that you can go back and do. There's have multiple save states because you may need to change some stuff and you may have made the wrong decision, and so it really keeps you going. But it's a great game. I love the story. I truly love the story. It is a tale as old as time. It is a hero's journey. I was cheering for Susanoo. So it was a good time. I highly recommend picking it up. I know there's an HD remaster on the PS3, maybe PS4. Either way, there's an HD remaster. But I had to get back on my Okami grind just so that I can be ready for Okami 2 when it finally gets announced. So, Mindgate Conspiracy video games. You're a Jedi with psychic powers. The story is convoluted, crazy, there's so many moving parts, but the gameplay just keeps it going. Okami, classic story. Shinto religion, you get to paint your way through some situations. Street Fighter 6 and Marvel Capcom collection, some of Capcom's greatest works. I mean, Zangief is a strong Zangief if I've ever played one in 6, so that's some good work, Capcom. With that being said, thank you for joining me today. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, the usual. With that being said, buenas noches.